What do these three titles have in common? I Swear I Won't Bother You Again, The Most Heretical Last Boss Queen from Villainous to Savior, Alice in the Country of Hearts, Love Labyrinth of Thorns. Any guesses what all three of these have in common? Because all three of these are Josei manga. Hello friends, happy Tuesday. We are continuing the 25 days of shoujo manga and it is day 19. And I don't know about you, but my mind was blown. And I mean, when I found out that all three of these series right here, well, this one's a standalone, but all three of these are Josei manga, like I had no idea, especially from Villainous to Savior, the heretical last boss queen, no idea. For the I Swear I Won't Bother You Again, I had sort of heard rumors that it was like a shoujo or a josei, and then I found out it's actually a josei, and I had no idea that this one was a josei. I actually really love this for the spinoffs in the Alice of the Country of Hearts. I did review the main series earlier this year, was super late on the hype train, but it was really, really good. And I am super stoked for this video. I found this very comprehensive guide, I guess for a lack of a better word, talking about a bunch of Josei manga. And I was just speechless of all of the digital titles, just titles in general that I were finding that fit the Josei demographic. Because I originally wanted to film this video, not because I'm an expert, I will say that right now, I am not an expert in magazines or demographics. I typically need help and I've just accepted that, and I'm very grateful for many people who are willing to share their knowledge in a kind and patient way with people like me who are like, I just read manga, I don't necessarily always know what the demographic is. Shoujo I feel like is a little bit easier, but when it comes to Josei, I feel like it's such a niche demographic here in the United States that it's really hard to know when a manga is sort of like a shoujo or a josei, especially when you have publishers like 7 Seas. When they're doing their license announcements, they will say this is a shoujo slash josei manga, and it's like, okay, well, which one is it? In fact, when I was doing research for this video, I felt like out of their, at least for their announcements specifically, I felt there was only one title that said it was a josei specifically, like it said that in the announcement, and when they were like promoting on Twitter, like they used the actual josei hashtag, and I feel like they do not typically do that. So for people like me, again, it can be confusing when they use both, and I tend to, for whatever reason, just think, well, it's shoujo. And I thought all three of these were shoujo manga, and they're not. So I felt like that was a really fun way to start off the video, and honestly, this is just a fun thing for me because going back to what I was going to be saying, the inspiration behind this video is I feel like there is a large amount of voices in the shoujo community, especially on Twitter, who are saying, we want more josei publishers, give us more josei. This past summer specifically that I noticed, now I'll be honest, I'm filming this video super early, even before the anime New York Comic-Con, I think is the name of it, so there's could be different and there could be announcements that are josei that are included, but and filming this in November, even though that wasn't the plan. But I just got so excited about this because, as I was saying again, I'm so sorry. Cue all the excitement for this morning. But I felt like there was a lot of people who were saying, we want more josei. And I was noticing that with 7 Seas license announcements specifically, they were having like a josei manga license like every week to every other week. And I'm like, I think the manga publishers might be hearing us in the community and giving us the things that we wanted. So I wanted to sort of like go on this personal adventure of debunking or figuring out, is josei manga on the rise? Is that true or false? Are manga publishers actually hearing us? So I thought I would take a trip down memory lane a little bit because I would say I was not familiar or really didn't even know what josei manga was or the term until really this year. When I think of josei manga that I specifically had and I knew were a josei, one of them was Haru's Curse. I was introduced to this manga from Marg at Marg Reads Manga. She did this for one of the manga of the month when she was doing the manga reading club. And so I had heard the term. I feel like maybe not there, but I was starting to like, oh, you know, Josei's a thing. And I don't know what this thing is, but it is a thing. Before Haru's Curse, I would say Perfect World. I do not have that. I passed it along to a friend, but that was the one time I knew this is a Josei series. But when I originally reviewed it on this channel many years ago, it was my very first manga review ever, I didn't know that it was a Josei. And so I didn't even know like that there were other manga on my shelf outside of Haru's Curse and Perfect World that actually fit the Josei demographic. Obviously, the Heretical Last Boss Queen, I didn't know that was a Josei either. But manga that I had that were Josei that were on my shelf last year was the Muscle Girl Next Door. I got this for Father's Day. Me and my siblings, we took our dad out, and then I stopped by the bookstore on the way home because I remember Shae at Shae Geeks Out was gushing about this on her channel. And I was like, I want in, I want to check it out. At that time, I thought this was a seinen manga and was extremely shocked when I found out this is a Josei manga. I had no idea. So I've had this Josei manga for a long time, and honestly, I didn't even know until maybe just a few months ago that it was a Josei manga. And I feel like that sort of maybe reflects the struggle that some people like me have, where we think it's a shoujo, or in this case, I thought it was a seinen, but we think it's one demographic and it's not. I don't understand why Josei manga seems to be so underrated, at least when it comes to physical titles, because another one that I had absolutely no idea, and this is one of my all-time favorite manga, and that is Play It Cool, guys. I had no idea that one of my favorite manga ever is a Josei. I was so shocked. I don't even know how I found out. I was like, that's a Josei? I was like, I don't even know if I even thought about the demographic. So that was another mind-blowing moment, and it only continues because I did not know that I'm a Cat Barista. This is a 2-volume series, very good, highly recommend it. That this was a Josei, I thought this was a seinen, and I don't know if this is just a me struggle thinking some of these Josei are just seinen. I really don't know. I don't know where that misconception comes from for me. I know that seinen can get really confusing because, you know, you have series like Vinland Saga, and then you have series like Skip and Loafer, two very different genres, but both fit the same demographic. But it continues on because I also have We Swore to Meet in the Next Life, and that's when things got weird. This is a 3-volume series, and I did know when I got this that it was a Josei, thankfully. I got this last year for my birthday. I also knew that this was a Josei, and it actually influenced me getting this one last year. It wrapped up at 2 volumes, I think, in July, and that is My Coworker Has a Secret. So incredibly good. And the last one that I had from last year was Embrace Your Size. So with most of the later ones that I just featured, I knew for like these that they were Josei. But the I'm a Cat Barista, Play It Cool, guys, and the Muscle Girl Next Door, I had no idea, and that there was Josei just floating out there at the bookstores and online that I just was not aware of. But I wanted to feature those that like I have had Josei on my shelf, just sometimes never realized it. And that's why I'm really thankful for the manga community and those who share information. And I will just say right now, a huge shout out to Vampy. She runs the Twitter website. It's called Shoujosei News and Information, I think. I will leave a link down below. Please check it out. But she also runs a Discord channel, and I happened to, when I was doing research, I happened to be on Twitter or X or whatever, and I was looking through my bookmarks, and I saw that she had made a Tumblr account, and it was full with information on shoujo and josei manga. And that is where I was starting to be mind blown, because I went directly to the josei manga tab, and there is so much josei manga that has been licensed by Kodansha. I didn't think last night to write them down because I was like, what? I was like, this is a josei, but like Change of Heart, Mr. Bride. Those are the only two, or I think it's Changes of Heart or Change of Heart, one of those, Mr. Bride. Those are the ones coming to mind right now, unfortunately, but there were so many josei manga on this list. And I'm like, okay, Kodansha, apparently you know that people like josei manga, but why are you only licensing it digitally? It's not going to be as widespread because a lot of us don't, or I feel a lot of us don't typically read digitally, or at least maybe we read digitally, but we're typically not going to pay $10.99 for a digital manga from Kodansha because nobody nobody wants to pay that price. I know I do not. That was really eye-opening to see that there is a publisher that for the past few years, like not just recently, but the past few years, they have been regularly publishing Josei manga. I don't know how often because I didn't look that far into it. It was just like I've seen these titles on sale in the past. I've seen other people read them. So I wanted to do a huge shout out to Vampy because she blew my mind. She totally flipped my whole reading journey upside down last night when I was doing research for this video. And I'm just so excited that there are people knowledgeable like Vampy who are willing to share their knowledge and what they know with other people. I have asked her questions. I've asked other people questions in her Discord group of like, hey, what demographic is this? And everybody has been so gracious and so kind in answering questions. A lot of people just want to share and spread the love of manga, especially when it comes to shoujo and josei. They're willing to answer questions that people have. I know that was sort of a rabbit trail right there, but I had to do a huge shout out to her. And she was definitely the reason that I even found out about the muscle girl next door being a josei. I'm like, cool guys, and I'm a cat barista. Like I never would have known about any of these being a josei if it had not been for her when she has shared about monthly. She does not a license announcement, but a release announcement, there we go, of the different shoujo and josei manga that are coming out. Now, I think this is a good time. I'm going to talk about the manga that I have picked up this year that are josei, and then I guess after that we'll talk about like the license announcements that I have seen. But I feel like this is a good place to pause and say this. I am not featuring any Steamship titles in my video because I haven't at all read any Steamship titles. They're a little bit too steamy for me, so I know quite a few of those have been josei manga. I'm also not featuring any J Novel Club manga because I was not ready to go down that because they're all digital and I feel like that was just a little bit too much for me. I really just wanted to talk about more of what I have picked up and my own observations rather than making this like a full-blown research kind of video. So I thought it'd be good to mention that because I feel like with the josei manga I have picked up that yes, they're josei, but I know that there are more probably out there that I had missed or that they're part of the Steamship line and others that I just didn't even know of. So I do ask for grace if I have missed anything with this video, especially when it comes to the license announcements that I have seen. So with the ones that I have owned before this year, that the 7 that I talked about, these are 7 josei title series that I had before now. And so when I was sort of doing the count that I am specifically picking up and that I'm aware of, I believe it came out to be 8 or 9 if I remember and can do math this morning. But one of the ones that I was super shocked and very excited about, it was actually licensed last year, but that was Gap Papa. And this is another one that blew my mind when I saw this on Vampy's Tumblr. I'm like, this is a josei? Like, once again, I'm totally mind blown. This came out in February. Volume 3 just came out, I think like a month ago. It's on my way to me. I'm very excited. Well, as of filming this video, it's on my way to me, but probably when this video goes live, I'll already have it. But I was really excited because I deeply love this series. I've read this volume like 3 times. I've read volume 2 at least twice. I will probably read volume 3 at least 2 or 3 times as well. That was a really pleasant surprise to find, as well as this one, which is My Stepmother and Stepsisters Aren't Wicked. This came out this year, and I believe the announcement, was last year, and I'm trying to feature manga that had license announcements last year, but I didn't know that this was a josei either. I feel like this series is really underrated. I know that the volumes are super short, and it's a little bit more pricey for a manga volume. It's $15. It'll be going up to $16 next year since 7 Seas has raised their prices by $1. But it is so fun, and I don't know if I thought about what demographic this was, but it was just another surprise like at Papa that these are series I really enjoy and they're josei. And I feel like too, for me, I really struggle finding josei manga. I can easily find seinen romance that I super enjoy, but with josei I find that it's harder for me, I think, because it's typically more steamy, and I don't like a lot of steam in my books. I don't know, but I just don't prefer that. I mean, I can handle some, but some of the josei, like especially some of the Steamship, they have some steam, and that's why I didn't feature them, because I knew for me personally, I'm not going to pick that up. I'm not going to be reading it. So it was a really amazing, fun surprise, realizing like, play it cool, guys. Gap Papa, My Stepmother and Stepsisters Aren't Wicked. That all of these fit in what I super enjoy. They have that clean slice of life that's just really amazing. It can be really wholesome and really sweet. Like, that was super duper cool. Another pleasant surprise, I was like, what? This is a Josei? That I was really shocked, is Mr. Villain's Day Off. This was actually licensed, the announcement for the license was earlier this year. I think it was like in February. And yeah, Mr. Villain's Day Off. We have the anime coming out next January. Very, very stoked for this. Absolutely loved Volume 1. Volume 2 should have been here as of this video going live. And I'm very excited because it has those play it cool vibes. And I absolutely love that because that's one of my favorite manga. And Square Enix also super delivered and giving us one of the most wholesome Josei, and that is the Ice Guy and the Cool Girl. I love this. This was physically had a license announcement in February as well. I believe it was the same day as Mr. Villain's Day Off, though it was digitally licensed by Comic-Key sometime last year because I did do a review on it at that time. I read Volume 1, so I'm gonna wait, hope this physically gets published, and it did. I adore this series so much, and I was very excited to find out that this was a Josei as well, because I do feel like there is a maybe like a stereotype towards the Josei demographic that everything we get is just smut or it's very steamy, and I hope these pics that I'm showing that I have picked up, no, that is not the case at all. And if you're like, well, Laura, I am not into like slice of life manga in general, that's not my cup of tea. I still don't have it because my friend has it, but don't call it mystery. That was a really big manga that Seven Seas announced last year, and we now have it physically. This has been on the best-selling manga list in Japan at numerous points. It's also by the same creator as Basara. It has gotten so much love. It is a fantastic mystery read. It gets better as it goes on. I am behind and need to get more volumes of the series, but that is one that I feel like is for this year. I feel like when we think of Josei manga that has led the way, so to speak, I really feel like Don't Call It Mystery is the one I think of, because that is when we got that and so many people thought, well, we may not get it, and then we did receive it. I feel like now, maybe just for me, that I'm realizing like, hey, we are getting more Josei manga, and that manga was sort of, I feel like, just the one that was the catalyst for us to get more. At least that is when I started observing. I don't know how true that is, but the last physical one that I have that came out that also just got an anime announcement here recently is Nina the Starry Bride. I had no idea. I think when I wrote it down, this came out, yes, in April 2021. It was a digital only title by Kodansha, and now this past October, it is physically here with the volume 2 coming out sometime this month. It may already be out. I'm not 100% sure, but this was a really big win, I think, for the community as well. There are overwhelming amount of fans that I know who adore and love this series, and I was really excited to find out that this was a Josei as well. I am very much team Azure. I have read the first 3 volumes on K-manga, and yeah, I have not gone over to Set. I did not like my first impression of him. That's a very unpopular opinion, but I really love Team Azure, and I just had to mention that, and that's him right here. I really love him and Nina's like relationship, friendship. It's really, really great. The other 2 that I was so excited that actually sort of was part of the reason I wanted to do this video is because I was really excited that 2 Josei manga that actually came out the end of November, hopefully they are here as of this video going live, was volume 1 of My Lovesick Life as a 90s Otaku. This is a Josei manga. I was sort of iffy on it. I didn't know anybody that was really excited for this, but then I read the first 10 pages on Kodansha's website and it was everything. I am so very, very excited for this. And the other one is Gold Kingdom and Water Kingdom. This does have an anime movie. I don't know if it's actually out in English, but this was another big win, I feel like, for Josei manga in the United States to get that. A lot of people were really excited. They were already familiar with it because of the movie. Again, I don't know if it was the movie came out in English, but people were aware of it. And so I felt like that was another one with Don't Call It Mystery where people like, wow, Josei manga is really starting to get on the radar. And I felt like I had more Josei manga this year than I did last year. Yes, because I had 7 Josei manga that I have been picking up since last year or picked them up last year, while this year I have at least 8. So that is an increase, and that does not even include, like I said, the steamship, things that I'm not even familiar with or didn't even know know, or maybe that there was one manga that said that 7C said it's like a shoujo slash josei, but I could not find the actual title, Japanese title, to figure out was it a shoujo or josei. When I was looking back, and I have saved quite a few of the license announcements of the shoujo josei, because with Right Stuff not around anymore, like I feel like if I don't save it, I'll forget it, and it's just so like 10 times harder to keep track of stuff. But I was really excited. I feel like the publisher that is most listening to the community when it comes to josei manga, I do feel is 7C's. 7C's seems like they are willing to take more risk, and they are willing to print more niche manga titles for the community that they think will be a big hit. The past two that they have done that I'm pretty sure are josei, one of them was announced on October 4th, and that is My Sister Took My Fiance and Now I'm Being Courted by a Beastly Prince. I'm actually really excited about this one. I was curious at first, but then last night when I was trying to find who wrote it, and if I'm not mistaken, this is written by the same manga creator that did It's the Fluffy, I'm gonna cook stuff with my fluffy animals or something. I'm gonna put a picture here because I just realized I completely last night forgot to write that down, but I was really excited because I've been curious about that, and it's been a digital only manga from J Novel Club. The next one that they announced October 11th that also sounded really good, and I read this around the same time that I read Maiden of the Needle, which is phenomenal. I recently talked about that in my October reading wrap-up, is Royal Tailor Clother to the Crown. This sounds really, really good. It's all about sewing, and there's a little bit more with that, but it sounded phenomenal. Another manga, this one was announced in March, Was My Dog is a Death God, and this is by the same artist that did The Dragon Knight's Beloved, which is also a josei manga, and I had no idea. I was actually a little bit bummed that I dropped that after finding that out. I did really love volume 1. I did a review on this channel at some point, but I don't know, I got into like volume 3 and 4, and I just wasn't as invested in it, even though the art is absolutely stunning. But finding out it was a josei, it makes me want to come back, to be honest. But My Dog is a Death God, it should have already came out as of December 5th. A publisher I definitely want to give a shout out to is Tokyo Pop, because I feel like when it's not, they've been doing a lot of BL manga. I'm not really sure about GL, but they've done a lot of BL manga. But the cool thing is when they have been doing shoujosei manga, 2 of the past 3 they have done have been josei manga, and I am all for that. I think it's really cool. The one that came first that they announced, I don't remember when the official announcement was, because they don't really do official announcements like all the other publishers. I actually find out through a friend on Twitter that finds it really early, and then we're like, oh, we already knew that was coming out. But it is Since I Could Die Tomorrow. This was a winner of a really big manga award overseas. It's a 4-volume series. Volume 1 comes out in February. I'm very curious about it. It's about a woman who I believe is just now hitting menopause. She's in her 40s and she's realizing changes about her body, and she's beginning to see these changes, and so she starts questioning things about her life and if she's going to be able to continue at her job, how things are going to be with menopause. And it sounds like a very different and interesting read. I'm very excited for it. However, the one I'm very, very excited about that that the official announcement was in November was Sweets for Sweets and Foreigners. Oh my gosh, this sounds incredible. I don't remember the blurb right off the top of my head, but I know it's a lady who, I think she is a pastry chef, or the guy is, and they sort of have a blooming romance that starts over food, and I'm just like, I'm here for it. The cover looks super cute. As of right now, it's 2 volumes. I'm unsure if it's ongoing. I'm very, very excited about that. Kodansha recently in September, they had a new, unfortunately, digital-only josei, and that is Searching for My Perfect Brother. I also did talk about that in my October reading wrap-up, because that manga, the plot twist blew my mind. It blew my mind, and I feel like with them only that I'm aware of, only having, no, you know, they have another digital-only, and I think it's called He's Expecting. That it's about a guy who's pregnant. That one seemed really good, and I believe that is a josei only, I believe, or that's a josei, but it's also, once again, it's digital only. So like Kodansha may be feeding us josei manga, but they're choosing digital only to give us stuff. that I know of, Yen Press, as of an announcement on October 14th, they only had one Josei, but it was a really big surprise in my opinion, and that is The Alchemist Who Survived Now Dreams of a Quiet City Life. I'm personally really excited for this because somebody on my channel last year recommended the manga to me, but either it was like digital only or it was like, I feel like there's two different manga adaptations of the light novel. Really excited that we're getting this one physically. It sounds amazing. I'm very, very excited for it. This manga publisher, in my opinion, knocked it out the ballpark, and that is Udon Entertainment. They are giving us Veil. This is one of my most anticipated manga. I am so incredibly excited for this. I have not read it, but like there was, I think it's volume 6, you could get the Japanese one or manga, they were doing a special thing where you could get an exclusive art book with never seen before art specifically for this art book, and I was like, I'm getting it. I don't care, I've never read Veil. I am very, very, very stoked for this. There's no official like release date for it. It's just coming out in 2024. I'm very, very excited. The announcement for that was July 21st. It was at one of the Comic-Cons that was going on at that time. And another one that they released, which was a really big surprise because Veil seems pretty popular. A lot of people seem to be vaguely aware of that, probably because the art is so beautiful. But the other one that they licensed is a standalone, and it is No Roses Without Thorns: My Life as a Shoujo Manga Artist. This is supposed to be releasing in February. It was not super high on my radar, but then I found out it was a Josei, and I'm like, I really want to read it. It sounds really interesting as it is, and I just felt that was such a huge thing for Udon Entertainment because typically when I've ever seen stuff by them, I feel like it's mainly Street Fighter stuff, to be honest. So they did do Rose of Versailles, and so that one, the covers are stunning, and I've really wanted to read that because I feel like it's sort of like a shoujo manga classic, and they also have a Sugar Sugar Ruin, but those are not Josei manga that I am aware of. Now, the publisher, in my opinion, who is not feeding us when it comes to Josei manga is Viz, and I'm really disappointed by that. The last Josei manga that I found and was aware of that they released, that came out in February with an announcement last June in 2022, was Mermaid Scales in the Town of Sand. I have not seen any other Josei manga that have come out since then. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I was like, that's it, Viz? You know, Viz does give us good titles, but it is discouraging when you see these other manga publishers who are at least trying. Seven Seas is the one that's leading the way, in my opinion. Yen Press is at least giving us one a year. Tokyo Pop seems to be slowly giving us more, and then Kodansha continues to give us digital Josei titles, even if I'm completely unaware of them. And then, of course, Udon. And I don't know if Udon will give us more. I feel like they do like a shoujo a year kind of thing. And so Viz, I would love for you to get on this hype train with these other publishers. And so I guess to wrap everything up, I do feel that Josei manga is on the rise. I mean, I have not even included all of the Josei manga that are readily available or out there, but it's coming. There's more titles coming out. I think that this is just a really encouraging reminder for myself that even if Viz is not one that listens the most, that the manga publishers really do hear the community. If the community's saying, hey, we really want to get this manga. I mean, Veil's a great example. I feel like a lot of people wanted Veil. We got Veil. And then a lot of people are like, hey, we want more Josei. We are getting that. And we're getting big titles like Don't Call It Mystery. That's a really big win. And that is just really, really exciting. So I hope that this video was insightful and helpful and eye-opening as it was for me. It was a lot of fun to film and just be aware and educated and seeing, hey, my voice matters. It's making a difference. Makes me want to learn more about what are some other Josei titles that I would love to have licensed in English, and then tell publishers like Seven Seas they hear us. They are listening to us. So I would love to hear from you, friends. Do you read Josei manga? Were you aware of what the Josei demographic is? I would love to hear from you. And also, are there Josei manga that you enjoy reading? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!